Prague is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's a feast for the eyes. If you visit, you'll see the biggest castle complex on planet Earth, stunning views in every part of town, along with cobblestone streets to match the gorgeous architecture. The utmost care is put into the appearance of just about everything. So why does the food look like this? I've made recent videos highlighting the food from Peru, Morocco, and Spain, and the presentation just jumps right off the screen. Czech food is not pretty. It's very brown. Meat, potatoes, dumplings, and whipped cream. I spent a month in Prague trying all the most famous Czech dishes. At the end of the day, food is about taste. And even brown sauces and chunks of meat can taste good when placed into the right hands. At least that was my hope. Let me describe something to you and you tell me if you think it sounds good. Beef tenderloin covered in a sweet cream sauce with cranberry and lemon and whipped cream. I'm describing Svíčková, which is maybe the most popular and most famous Czech dish. I was recommended to order Svíčková from ugliest, which is right across from the St. Mikuláš Cathedral in Malostrană. It is 250 years older than the actual United States itself. I didn't really think that I was going to like this, so I ordered a starter of cheese and pretzels and bread just to make sure that I was full in case I didn't finish it. But Svíčková. Okay, I think it took me a couple bites to settle in. I'm not exactly used to sweet cream-based sauces in tandem with beef, so it was a little off-putting, but I kind of decided that this is amazing. I do feel like somebody with a weak stomach might struggle with this a little bit, but the dumplings were great. The meat was tender and the sauce was fantastic. I do sort of also have an addiction to sugar and sweets, so it might have had an unfair advantage. Hovezi Gulas is the Czech name for beef goulash. That's Hungarian. Yes, yeah, hold on, jeez. Yes, goulash is Hungarian, officially, definitely. However, they prepare it quite differently in the Czech Republic than they do in Hungary. It usually has more beef and less vegetables and is served with knedlíky, which are those round dumplings that you keep seeing on the side of the plates. So they're different, okay?
You're on thin ice, buddy.
I went somewhere really fun to get this. Strahov Monastery Brewery is a brewery that is set up in a monastery. Growing up in the United States, it's hard for me to even imagine monks drinking beer, let alone being artisan beer craftsmen. I love it. Let me talk about beer because beer in the Czech Republic is literally cheaper than water. They drink more beer per capita than anywhere else in the world. The most famous beer in Prague was the first Pilsner ever created in the world, Pilsner Urquell. At Strahov Monastery Brewery, they brew their own. It's called St. Norbert, and it's definitely much punchier than the Pilsner. Look, if I talk about beer anymore, you're gonna see the bullshit meter rising really quickly. I'm not really a beer person, won't lie, I don't know anything about it, but I do know that Prague is a paradise for beer lovers. You can literally take a bath in it if you want. I'm not kidding. Back to the goulash. Super ugly. For sure has that going for it. This was actually just okay for me. It felt sort of just like a couple pieces of beef sitting in gravy, which is pretty much what it is. Very cool brewery though. I highly recommend going there for a beer or 6 or 12, just like the monks do, apparently. I respect you too much to lie to you. Smažený Sýr is literally just a big hunk of fried cheese. I don't know if it's exactly ugly. Average in appearance, I guess. The point is, obviously I liked this. Smažený Sýr is one of the most famous cheat meals in the Czech Republic. I actually tried it twice because, well, there aren't many places in the world where you can get away with eating just cheese as your main course. And I liked doing it. For as simple of a dish as it is, it can be prepared pretty differently, it turns out. It also typically comes with a sort of Czech tartar sauce, and I kind of think that's what sets this apart from something similar like a mozzarella stick. I got the fried cheese at Upinkasu and Lokál Ubyl. Now these are essentially two of the most highly recommended restaurants in all of Prague. Did I wait in line to get into Upinkasu for 30 minutes and then just order a slab of cheese and a beer? Guilty! Upinkasu is famous for being the first place to serve Pilsner on draft. He ordered cheese! Lokál is one of the most famous and beloved traditional food chains in Prague. He ordered cheese! The real ugliness at these restaurants did not come from the cheese. The real ugliness was this absolute monstrosity that I ordered at Lokál Ubyl. This is a Italian sausage. If you can avert your gaze for long enough that you don't start actively bleeding from your eye sockets while looking at this food, it's actually delicious. Good texture, good spices. The sauce that came on the side was a delight, but good God, man. Ugh. This is actually a really fun section for me because I discovered it completely by accident. One of the most famous dishes in Prague is an ugly dish that we're pretty familiar with in the United States. Now, I didn't just like run out to go find a burger to put into this video, but after I tasted one in Prague, I needed more, and I also needed you to know about this. Remember how in SpongeBob, Squidward tries a Krabby Patty for the first time and then just goes absolutely insane and has to eat every burger in sight? That was sort of me in Prague. I have 2 burger spots for you to try. Don't miss these when you're in Prague. The first is Sad Man's Tongue in Old Town, and it's pretty easy to get to from most of the major tourist destinations. They don't take reservations and they only take cash, but this is a burger that you can't miss. They have a selection of burgers named after celebrities who died young. It's called the Choker series. It's very dark, right? I got the John Bonham. The most famous is the Jimi Hendrix. You can pick whatever toppings you like because the burger itself is the star. It's super filling and it's super high quality. Now, if you prefer a smash burger, this next restaurant has maybe the best one that I have ever had. It's called, Fat Burger. It's a little past Prague Castle, so it is sort of out of the way, but it's worth it. Take tram number 22 to the Malovanka stop and it's right there. Choose your patty count and go to town. This burger was a revelation. The juiciest and freshest tasting smash burger ever. The fries are flavorful and crispy. The sauces are super original. I got this habanero mayo on the side that was spicy and rich and incredible. Burgers aren't Czech, but man, they have adopted them and are really working magic on the formula. Basically, every burger that I had in Prague was better than most burgers that I've had in the US. Whew, okay, wow, yeah, that looks really beautiful. I just needed to take a second and show you some really beautiful images of Prague. We all needed to see some color, just something nice as a treat. It actually does make me laugh at how rough the food in Prague looks, but all jokes aside, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked what I ate. It might not be beautiful, but it has a great personality, and that's what counts. I wasn't a huge fan of the goulash or some of their other popular meat dishes like roast duck or pork knuckle, but Svíčková and Smažený Sýr are things that I would not have tried anywhere else, and I really enjoyed them. It makes me kind of sad that they'll be hard to find outside the Czech Republic. I think because Prague doesn't have a super famous culinary scene, a lot of tourists are content to just go to whatever restaurant they can find near the square or near Charles Bridge. Don't do that. Give one of these places a try, or literally any burger that you find in town. I fell in love with Prague slowly. It took me some time to settle, but once I was in, I was all in. You know, I learned that it's simple, really. If Prague's food was also beautiful, the city would be too powerful. We would be overcome. It would be too much for our fragile human minds to handle. As it is, I'm overcome by your beauty. Thank you so much for watching. I have another video for you that YouTube thinks that you are going to love, and I hope you do. It's right here. Go ahead and click to watch now.